For some teams, when they make a decision, it sticks. They don't reopen it. And whether it's a behavior change or a new strategic initiative, it happens. Our research at Black Glass tells us that this is pretty uncommon. Only about 60 people in a survey of 500 senior marketers told us that they have sticky decision-making practices on their team. And with another senior leadership team that I was working with covering all the functions in their business, something like 70% of the decisions that they made at the senior level were decisions that shouldn't have ever been escalated, because a decision that gets reopened is a decision that eventually travels up the food chain. Quick side note, reopening decisions is literally one of the CIA's recommendations for simple sabotage, so you should actively try to avoid it. So why is this so common? In my experience, it's because most teams don't have a way to reliably and quickly produce binding decisions. When I think of binding decisions, I think of things like employment contracts, guidelines for data storage, scopes of work between one org and another, or guidelines for preventing harassment and bias in the workplace. In all these things, there are consequences for breaking the rules, because of course there are. These are all super important things, but generally these are all things that all organizations have, so aren't really a source of competitive advantage. But what about smaller things? Things that are situational, things that live within a team. I'm thinking about things as small as file naming conventions and as big as performance assessment or compensation on a person-by-person basis. By the way, you know this in your bones, but it's worth reiterating. The way a team operates actually can be a source of competitive advantage. But like I said, most organizations don't have a way to produce decisions about these kinds of things. So you end up wanting to change some procedure or another, feeling like you have an agreement on a path forward, and then having to remind everybody 25 times to use the new cover sheets on the TPS reports. This sucks. Okay, so 4 patterns that I've observed in teams that don't reopen decisions, where people feel bound to the decisions that they make in a good way. Number 1 is that they have a decision mode that is discernibly different from normal meeting conventions. Number 2, they clearly write down the decision that they're making. Sure, there might be a slide deck or a 6-page memo that goes along with the decision, but any specific decision that they're making is clearly marked in some way. Number 3, they don't ask people to get on board. Instead, they legitimately try to find out why a decision might be bad before making it. And finally, number 4, they put their finalized decisions in a logbook somewhere where everyone can access them and go see what decisions were made. Operating in this way can feel a little weird. After all, it's really uncommon. It can feel a little Robert's Rules of Order, where decision-making moments have this deserved but awkward air of formality. Looking for areas of disagreement rather than relying on coercion or political will means that decisions are a little bit procedurally more difficult, which not everyone likes. And it's definitely more work to capture decisions in a place that everyone can go find. But I would ask, what's more annoying? A little bit more process in the moment or months of change management and repetition on the back end? Not a single person likes having good decisions reopened and progress stalled. So why not try something different?